Hello everyone, Scooney007 here, bringing you another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. In today's game, we have the 0-1 Kansas City Royals taking on the 1-0 Detroit Tigers. Here is the starting lineup for the Kansas City Royals. Leading off, the center fielder, Joey Garthright. Batting second, the second baseman, Mark Gunzendelek. Batting third, the third baseman, Alex Gordon. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, the right fielder, Jose Guillen. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Billy Butler. Batting sixth, the left fielder, Mark Teijen. Batting seventh, the first baseman, Ross Golod. Batting eighth, the catcher, John Buck. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Tony Pena. On the mound for the Tigers, it is Kenny Rogers. 9 wins, 13 losses, 5.70 ERA, 173.23 innings, allowed 212 hits, 82 strikeouts, and 68 walks. Comerica Park, -1 to strikes and a +1 to walks, nothing to home runs. Kenny is done warming up, and here we go. Here's the first pitch to Joey, and that is a 6-1. That is a blank. And we have a 6-6. That is a single pass. The center fielder, Brandon. And just like that, Joey gets on base. Next up is Mark. Here is the pitch. Strategy roll is an 8 infield going to double play depth. The pitch, 2-3, that's a blank, and that's going to be a 5-3. That is a ground ball to the second base. That is a 3. That is a 3 over here. That is a double play. And that, they got it. They got the double play. Joey out at second, Mark out at first for a 4-6-3 double play on that. And that's 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Alex Gordon. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-3 strikeout. That's an 11. That's a 9. They struck him out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Royals. We go to the bottom of the first. And here is the starting lineup for the Detroit Tigers. Leading off, the shortstop, Edgar Renteria. Batting second, the second baseman, Placido Polanco. Batting third, the designated hitter, Gary Sheffield. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, the right fielder, Milagio Ordonez. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Miguel Cabrera. Batting sixth, the first baseman, Carlos Guillen. Batting seventh, the catcher, Ivan Rodriguez. Batting eighth, the left fielder, Jacque Jones. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Brandon Ing. And on the mound for the Kansas City Royals, it is Brian Bannister. 9 wins, 16 losses, 5.76 ERA, 182.23 innings pitched, allowed 215 hits, 113 strikeouts, and 57 walks. And Brian is done warming up on the mound. Here's the pitch. And we have a 4-1. That is a strike. That's a 7. The 14 is too high. Egger batting a .500 average. 4-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop to Penna for out number 1. Placidio batting a .333 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-2. That's a strikeout. That's a 3. The 14 is too high. That's going to be a 1-1, and that's going to be a line drive to the third baseman. To third base to Gordon. And out number 2. Gary Sheffield batting a .250 average, the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-6. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 10. The 19 is too high. And that's going to be a 5-2. That's a double star 2. And that's a fly ball out there to Girthright for out number 3. Nothing across the board for the Tigers. No runs, no hits, no errors. Jose, Billy, and Mark due up for the Royals. Jose batting a .333 average. Here's the pitch. And we have a 6-2. That's going to be a blank. 3-6, double star 2, and that's a fly ball out there to Ing for out number 1. Billy Butler now up, batting a .250 average, the pitch. 1-1, strikeout, that's a 5, that's a 1, he struck him out. Next up is Mark Teahen. That's going to be a 5-1. That's going to be a double question mark, and that's going to be a single and a 1-7. That's a 2, and Mark gets on base. So runner on first. And that's going to bring up Ross Galod. Strategy roll is a 15. Going to hold off there. And that's going to be a 5-4 home run. And that's a 9. That's a 0. No home run. And that's going to be a 5-6. That's going to be a ground ball to second base to end the inning. And the Royals leave 1 stranded. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the second. It is Milagio, Miguel, and Carlos due up for the Tigers. The pitch, 2-4, range play. And that's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be to the short, to second base to Mark. Mark's range is in a 1-2. That's a 1. He got him out. Miguel Cabrera batting a .250 average. Here is the pitch. 1-4. That's a walk. An 11. The 19 is too high. Does not walk him. And that's going to be a 4-5. And that's going to be a pop-up to the third baseman, Gordon, for out number 2. Carlos Guillen now up. The pitch. And that's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 6-2 ground ball to first base. And that's going to be in a range on a 1. That's a 5. That failed. And Carlos gets on base. 2 outs. Runner on first. And that's going to bring up Ivan Rodriguez. Strategy roll is a 12. Ivan batting a 750 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-3. That's going to be a blank. Over to Ivan. That's going to be a 4-3. Double star 6. That's a fly ball out there to Gerthright. And the Tigers leave one stranded. No runs, one hit, no errors. After 2, we're still scoreless. John, Tony, and Joey due up for the Royals. John Buck. That's going to be a 2-1. That's going to be a possible error on a ground ball. And we have a 1-4. Ground ball to third base. That's a 20. The 11 is in range. That is a ground error. And that is a 1 base error for John. And as John gets on first. All right. Tony Penna, strategy rolls a 14. They're going to hold off. Here's the pitch. No outs. Infield at double play depth. 4-6. Strikeout. An 11. The 14 is too high. Does not strike him out. 6-1. Ground ball to second base. And let's see. Runner on first. That's going to be a force out at second. And Tony Penna takes first on a force out. On a fielder's choice. Number 1, we got a steal. That's a 15. Kenny does a minus. Let's see. Tony is right. That's going to be a -4. That's going to be a -5. That's going to be a 10. He's going to go for it. That's a 5. He got it. And he's going to steal second. All right, runner now in scoring position for the Royals. Here's the pitch to Joey as we go to the top of the order. Infield at normal depth. 2-3. Strikeout plus. That's a 14. We add 9. That makes it a 14. That's a 9. He struck him out. Mark Gundeslek now up. He's 0 for 1. Strategy roll is a 15. Infield at normal depth. The pitch. 5-5. Blank. That's going to be a 4-6, and that's going to be a single to the out there to center field. Runners now in the corners. Let's see. Does Tony come home? No, he does not. All right. They're going to bring the corners in. Strategy rolls a 19. Here's the pitch to Alex Gordon. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 2-6. That's a strike. That's an 11. That's an 8. He struck him out. And the Royals leave 2 stranded. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the third. It is Jock, Brandon, and Egger due up for the Tigers. Jock, 4-4. That's a blank. And that's going to be a 4-4 as well. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field for out number 1. Brandon Ing. Two, 4, range play. And that's going to be a 5-1. To center field. That is out there to Gerthright. Gerthright's range is in a 1-3. That's a 2. He got underneath that. Had to go all the way back to the wall. for out number 2. We go to the top of the order. Egger now up. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 6-2. That's going to be a strike. That's a 7. That's a 7. In range. A struck him out. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nothing across the board for the Tigers. After 3, we're still scoreless. We've got a pitching duel going on here. It is Jose, Billy, and Mark due up for the Royals. Jose, 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-5. That's going to be a range play. And that's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be a single pass Ordonez. Range is on a 1-2. That's a 2. He got it. 1 out, and that's going to bring up Billy Butler. 0 for 1. Struck out his last time up at bat. Here's the pitch. 6-2. Strike. That's a blank. And that's going to be a 4-1. That's going to be a ground ball past to the third base. 1 and 2 outs. Mark Teahen now up 1 for 1. The pitch. And that's going to be a 3-6. That's going to be a walk. That's an 8. The 14 is too high. And that's going to be a 2-3. That's a question mark 8. That's a 15. And that's going to be a fly ball out there to center field. So 3 up, 3 down for the Royals. The Tigers retire them in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Is Presidio, Gary, and Ordonez due up for the Tigers. Presidio, 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. 6-6. Strike. That's a 3. The 17 is too high. 2-1-2. That's going to be a single. And that one got past Teahen, and that's going to be a runner on base for the Tigers. Infield at double play depth. Strategy rolls a 15, and that's going to bring up Gary Sheffield. 200 average. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-1. Possible error on a ground ball. And that's going to be a 4-2. That's going to be a single to Garthright. Garthright's error is a 1. That's a 3. No error there. And the Tigers have runners on first and second. Presidio does not advance. The 4 is higher than a 2. It needed to be less. All right, Ordonez is up. Strategy roll is an 11. Infield at double play depth. Here's the pitch. 6-3. That is a walk result. That's a 12. The 19 is too high. 3-3, and that's going to be a pop up to second base. And that is out number 1. Pickoff attempt. We have a 20 on a strategy die. That is a 3. That is not a pickoff on that. So Miguel Cabrera now steps up into the box. We have an 0. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Infield at normal depth. 2-2. Blank. And that's going to be a 4-5. That's going to be a pop-up to third base for out number 2. Carlos Guillen now up. He's 1 for 1. Strategy rolls an 8. Tigers holding off. That's going to be a 5-1. That's going to be a home run. That's a 5. The 20 is too high. And that's going to be a 4-5. That's going to be a single to second. And let's see. Placidio was on second at home on a 2-6. He's going to score. And Carlos grabs an extra base and he goes to third. So just like that, the Tigers score 1. Runners on the corners. They're going to bring the corner. The Royals are going to bring the corners in. Strategy rolls a 19. They're going to hold off. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-4 range play at Comerica Park. And that's going to be a 3-5. That is an S plus. That's going to be out there to Garthright. Garthright ranges in a 1-3. That's a 6. And that is going to score Gary. Carlos goes to third. And we have a 6. And that's going to throw. Ivan tries to go to second. And he does not get it. He's out at the plate. The ball got there before he did. He is out. And Detroit takes 2 in the 4th. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors. After 4, it is Detroit 2, Kansas City nothing. We go to the top of the 5th. It is Ross, John, and Tony due up for the Kansas City Royals. Ross Galad, 0 for 1, 3-3. That's a walk. The 5 and 11 is too high. All right, 2-6. That's going to be a ground ball to first base for out number 1. John Buck, 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. 4-4 blank. And that's going to be a 4-5. That's going to be a double star. That's a ground ball to third base. Cabrera gets it, tosses it over to first for out number 2. Tony Penna now steps up into the box. He's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 2-4. Possible error. And that's going to be a 4-6. That is a shortstop error on a 1-7. That is Ager out there. That's a 15, so no error. And Tony gets on bases. That one gets singled right to the shortstop. Ager could not get the play off over to first in time. All right, strategy roll is a 7 as Joe Garthright steps up into the batter's box. He's 1 for 2, struck out, runner on first. The pitch, and that's going to be a 5-1. That's going to be a double question mark. That's going to be a single and a 1-7. That's a 2. And Penna does not advance. In order for him to go to third, he needed a 4-6. Penna's base run rating is a 3, so he holds. Runners on first and second. And that is going to bring up Mark. Mark is 1 for 2. Strategy roll is a 7. The pitch. 5-5 blank. And that's going to be a 3-6. That's going to be a single past third base. And The Royals load the bases. Penna on second to home on a 5-6. That's a 3. All runners hold because Joey cannot advance to third on that. All right, Alex Gordon steps up into the batter's box. 17 on the strategy die. You're going to hold off. Bases are loaded. 5-1, question mark. Single on a 1-7. The 14, too high. That's going to be a 5-4. That's going to be a fly out to left field. And the Royals leave the bases loaded. No runs, 3 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is Joc, Brandon, and Ager due up for the Tigers. Joc Jones, 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-3 home run chance on a 1-8. The 17 is too high. And that's going to be a 5-1. However, that's going to be a question mark 7 with the roll being a 4. That's a double. And Joc with a power hit on a double out there to left field. Tahan can't get it in time. He turns around and sees a runner on second. And Joc gets the hold side. All right, infield going to double play depth. The Royals are bringing the infield in to double play depth. Strategy roll is an 11. Joc on second. Here's the pitch to Brandon Ing. He's 0 for 1. And that's going to be a 6-6. That's a strikeout. That's a 14. That's a 1. He struck him out. All right, strategy roll, 14. And that's going to bring up Ager. Ager is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Infield still at double play depth. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 6-1. That's going to be a possible error on a ground ball. That's going to be a 6-2. That's a fly ball out there to Gerthright. Jack is going to hold. It's an F8 subtract 3. That makes it a 0, so he's going to hold. And that is out number 2. Placidio now up. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Strategy roll is a 3. Infield going to normal depth. And that's going to be 2-3. That's going to be a walk. That's an 8. That's a 2. And they walk him. All right, runners on first and second. Gary Sheffield now up. He's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Strategy roll is a 16. And that's going to be a 6-3. That is a walk. That's a 19. That's an 11. And they walk him. And Brian loads the bases for Detroit. They're going to have a quick chat with him on the mound. Brian can face 4 more batters before he's tired. He already has 2 outs. He wants to see if he can finish this inning at least. Strategy roll is a 2. Here's the pitch to Maglio. He's 0 for 2. 1-1. Blank. 2-4. That's going to be a single to second. Joc is going to score. Does Placido score. He has a base run rating of 3. He is on second to home on a 2-6. He does. Now let's see, does Gary go to second to third? He was on first. He will advance to third on a 3-6. That's a 3. He advances. And once again, the Tigers have runners on the corners. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. All right, Brian Bannister can face 3 more batters. His pull rating is a 1. So that might be some decision here from the skipper. They're going to see what he can do with Miguel Cabrera. He's 0 for 2. Strategy rolls a 3. Infield at normal depth. 2-4. Range play. And that's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be a double to Garthright. Range is a 3. That's a 6. That failed. Let's see this Maglio score. That's going to be a +1 from 1 to home. That's a 4. The fall is less than or equal to the adjusted base run, the ABR, the adjusted base run. The runner advances, and he does. And Brian, and they're going out there to make that call to the bullpen for Kansas City. Brian is done after 4 2/3 innings pitched. They are pulling him, and they're going to go with Brett Tomko to come in and relieve him. So Brett Tomko, 2 wins, 7 losses, 6.30 ERA, 70 innings pitched, allowed 83 hits, 49 strikeouts, and 16 walks. Brian has pitched 4 2/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA of 11.49. So Brett is done. He's going to warm up. He's done with his warm-ups. And here's the pitch to close out the inning, hopefully. He can face 10 batters. 5-2 range play at Comerica Park. And that's going to be a 4-4. That's going to be a double star 1. And that's a fly ball out there to Garthright for out number 3. Ends the inning as Detroit leaves 1 stranded, 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors. After 5, it is the Detroit Tigers 6, Kansas City Royals nothing. It is Jose, Billy, and Mark due up for the Royals. (5-1). That is a double star. That is a question mark. A single and a 1 to 10. That's an 11. Nothing. Just outside of the range. 2-4. Fly ball out there to Jones, who makes the play for out number 1. Billy Butler, 0 for 2, struck with a strikeout. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be 2-4. That's going to be a possible error. And that's going to be a 5-5. That is a ball to the shortstop. That's a 14. That's a 7. That goes out to the Ager. No error. But that's going to be a single for Billy. It is the left-hand side of that because he is a Kenny is a left-handed pitcher. If he was a right-handed pitcher, it would be the G6 Instead, it is an S6. Kansas City with a runner on. That's going to bring up Mark Teahen. He's 1 for 2. Strategy rolls have been turned off. There is no more strategy in this game right now. That's going to be a 2-4. That's going to be a possible error. And that's going to be a 5-3. And that's going to be a line drive to the second baseman. And the runner is doubled up. That's going to be a double play. And the Tigers turn a double play at first. No runs, 1 hit, no errors as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It is Ivan, Jacques, and Brandon due up for the Tigers. All right, here's the pitch to Ivan. He's 1 for 2. And that's going to be a 2-3. That's going to be a blank. That's going to be a 2-1, and that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop for out number 1. Jacques Jones, 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-5. That's a blank. And that's going to be a 2-4. Ground ball to the shortstop for out number 2. Brandon Ing. Now up, he's 0 for 2, the pitch. And that's going to be a 2-2. That's going to be a strike. That's a 6. The 14 is in range. The 6 is in range for strike number 3, and he struck him out. All right. So, no runs, no hits, no errors for the Tigers. After 6, Detroit 6, Royals have yet to score. It is Ross, John, and Tony due up for the Royals. But remember, no lead is safe. An inside pitch. Ross Jalal up. He's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-4. Home run chance on a 1-13. That's a 12. However, Ross has a 0 for a home run. The 14 is too high. That's going to be a 3-6, and that's going to be a double star 3. And that's going to be a fly ball out there to Adonis for out number 1. John Buck, 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-6. That's going to be a strike. That's a 15. That's a 12. He struck him out. All right, Kenny is now tired. Tony comes up. He's 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. He is going to see if he can finish the inning at least. That's going to be a 3-4 range play at Comerica Park. And that's going to be a 6-6. That's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Sing, take me out to the ball game. After no runs, no hits, no errors for Kansas City, it is Ager, Placidio, and Gary due up for the Tigers. After 7 innings, here's the way the box score stands. Detroit scored in the 2nd and the 4th. Actually, they scored in the 4th and the 5th innings. 6 runs, 8 hits, and they've only committed 1 error. Kansas City, 7 hits, no runs. They're going to be left by the dreaded left on base. So Brett's going to face the top of the order. Egger, and they are going to let him pitch to him. He's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 4-1. That's going to be a 7. That's a 5. He struck him out. All right, Placidio now up. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs scored in this game. 1-3. That is a walk. That's a blank. That is a blank. And that's going to be a 1-4. That's going to be a single. And Blanco gets on base. Infield going to double play depth. Gary Sheffield, 1 for 2. Here's the pitch. He also has a walk and 2 runs scored. 3-4. That's a strikeout. That's a 10. That's a 2. He struck him out. Infield at normal range, normal depth. As Maglio comes in, he's 1 for 3 with a run and 2 RBIs. The pitch. That's going to be a 5-5. That's going to be a strikeout. That's a 6. The 14 is too high. 6-3. That is going to be a double for Maglio. Placidio does not advance. That's a 2. The 5 is high. And we have runners on second and third. Miguel Cabrera up. He's 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. Double and an RB and 2 RBIs. That's going to be a 4-4. That's going to be a strike. The 10. That's a 10. The 16 is too high. And that's going to be a 4-3. That's going to be a fly ball out there to left field to end the innings. No run, 2 hits, no errors for the Tigers. It is Joey, Mark, and Alex due up for the Royals. And that's going to do it for Kenny Rogers for Detroit. Now that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. We have a left-right coming up. And they want to go with a right. We have about 8. We're in the 8th inning. They're going to bring in Fernando Rodney. Fernando has an ERA of 9.0. 1 inning pitched, allowed 2 hits. No strikeouts, no walks so far in this replay. Let's take a look here. Kenny Rogers, 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, no ERA. All right, here's the pitch to Joey. He's 2 for 3, and that's going to be a 5-5. That's going to be a strikeout plus. We had 9. That's an 18. The 17 struck him out. All right, Mark Gunzlek is now up. He's 2 for 3. And that's going to be a 4-6. Home run chance on a 1-8. The 9 is too high. And that's going to be a 6-2. That's going to be a fly ball out there to Jones for out number 2. Alex Gordon, 0 for 3. He's the third baseman. 2 outs. They are going to let him hit. They are going to let him take this hit. And that's going to be a 5-4 strikeout. That's a 12. The 16 is too high. And that's going to be a 1-2. That's going to be a pop-up to first base for out number 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is Carlos, Ivan, and Jacques due up for the Tigers. Brett can face one more batter before he's tired. They are going to leave him in. Carlos is 2 for 3, and that's going to be a 6-5. That's going to be a walk. The 14, that's a 14. The 17 is too high. Does not walk him. 1-2. Pop up to second base. And that is out number 1. Brett is now tired, but they're going to leave him in. They want to see if he can at least finish this inning. Ivan Rodriguez, 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 6-1. That's a home run. That's a 6. That's a 4. And Ivan belts one out of here at Comerica Park. That ball is going back to the wall. It's out of here. Oh, a home run for Ivan Rodriguez. And that's going to do it for Brett. We have a left, right, right coming up. And Brett is going to get pulled. We have a left, right, right. And we're in the 8th. We want to get through with this. Let's see. Kansas City. And they're going to bring in Leo Nunez to pitch. Leo Nunez, 4 wins, 1 loss, no saves, 2.98 ERA, 48.1 third innings pitched, allowed 45 hits, 26 strikeouts, 13 walks. And as we check the stats here for Brett, he pitched 2 2/3 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run, ERA 3.33. All right, here's the pitch. Leo's pitching to Jacques. 3-4. That's a range play. And that's going to be a 4-1. That's going to be a fly ball to Tehan. Fly ball out there. Tehan's range is in a 1-4. That's a 3. He's out. For out number 2, Brandon Ing, 0 for 3. The center fielder. We're going to leave him in. Here's the pitch. 3-6 range at the ballpark. So we're going to go to Comerica Park. 1-3. That is a double star 6. That's a fly ball out there to Gillen for out. For out number 3. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. After 8, it's Kansas City 7. It's Detroit 7. Kansas City nothing. So we head into the 9th inning, but will we see some 9th inning magic? Jose, Billy, and Mark due up for the Royals. And that's going to do it for Fernando. They are going to bring in Bobby Say to close this game out. Bobby Say. No, 1 win, 2 losses, 4.47 ERA, 56.1 third inning pitched, allowed 59 hits, 58 strikeouts, 18 walks. And as always, we're going to take a look at the stats here for Rodney. He pitched 1 inning and had 1 strikeout, 4.5 ERA. So Jose Gillian comes up into the batter's box. He's 0 for 3, and they really need a pinch hitter here. So they are going to go with Travis Denker. To come in and pinch hit. They need the power. And that's going to be a 2-1. That's going to be a walk. That's a 16. The 13 is in range, and they walk him. All right. Travis is not going to run. They are going to bring in their 4. They're going to bring in Mike Alvarez to come in and pinch run for them. They're going to try to get at least some runs on the board here, hopefully. Infield going double play depth. Real quick before we continue, let's take a look at the box score. They, once again, Detroit scored in the 4th, the 5th, and now in the 8th inning. 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. Kansas City only has 7 hits so far. And that's going to be a 4-3. That is a home run. That's a 17. That's a 19. That ball is high. That ball is deep. And that ball is out of here. 2-run home run for Kansas City. Fly ball down the left field side. It's hanging in there, and it just goes past the left side foul post for a 2-run home run. Kansas City ending their scoreless drought here in the 9th. Mark Teahen now comes up. He's 1 for 3. 3-1. That's a walk plus. That's an 18. The 12. He walks him. And that's going to bring up Ross Gallard. Now, and Bobby has pull rating is a 0. 1-4. That's a strike. The 4. 5 is too high. Does not strike him out. 3-3. Ground ball to second base. That's a 3. That's going to be a force out at second. And Ross takes first on the fielder's choice. All right. Infield at double play depth. Runner on first, 1 out, top of the 9th. Detroit has a 5-run lead. Here is the pitch. That's going to be a 3-3. That's a strike. John has a 15. The 20 is too high. Does not strike him out. 2-1. Fly ball out there to Adonis for out number 2. Infield at normal depth. Tony Pena, 1 for 3. Here is the pitch. Runner on first. Bobby Say tired. The pitch. 1 out away from winning this game. 4-4. Range play. No, we go to at the ballpark. We go to Comerica Park. That's going to be a 2-3. And that is an out. Fly ball out to the left field. And that's the game. The Detroit Tigers have defeated the Kansas City Royals 7-2. Final line score coming right up. Kenny Rogers gets the win. Brian Bannister draws the loss. Kansas City, 2 runs on 8 hits. No errors. Detroit, 7 runs on 11 hits, 1 error. Kansas City was trying to come back in that last inning. Billy Butler has a home run, and Ivan Rodriguez scored a home run in that game. Let's take a look at the stats here. Brian Bannister pitched 4 and 2/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, 11.49 ERA. Kenny Rogers gets the win. 7 innings, 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, no ERA. He has a clean ERA, and that's going to do it for us here today. Detroit up 2 games. Kansas City drops to 0-2. And that's going to do it for us here at Comerica Park. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up on your way through the turnstile. And we will see you next time for another exciting game. This is Scooney 007. And we will see you for another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.